Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
I'm Carol Massar.
And I'm Tim Stedevec.
He is indeed. Let's take a look at some stocks on the move this week. Bloomberg TV markets correspondent Nora Melinda is in the house, taking a look with some of the movers this past week.
Quite a few. I had to really narrow it down, but
that's kind of fun.
Let's start with General Motors. That's ticker GM. This is the second biggest performer that we saw in the S&P 500 behind Intuitive Surgical. And we did see the stock gaining 19% this week. This is all after a 15%, right? Insane. 15% surge on Tuesday of this week. That's really what's propelled this stock higher. This is after the automaker raised its profit guidance on buoyant truck sales. And of course, a dose of tariff relief. I mean, we've been talking about Ford a lot this week as well. It's one of its competitors. And it seems as though there is some positive guidance coming out of these companies here. And on Friday, of course, we do know that General Motors announced that it would be cutting hundreds of salaried workers due to what the company is calling business conditions. But we do see the stock up about 31% on the year.
Wow. All right. So GM up, of course, ticker GM up about 19% this week. I am just going to throw Ford in there because it's up 16% this week.
Oh, wow.
That's, some outperformance.
I think that's an honorable mention, you can say. But how much of that came today, Carol? Because Ford shares.
Stedevec details. I'm just saying.
12% just today.
All right.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, 12% today. You're right.
All right. Moving on to Warner Brothers Discovery.
This one is a good one.
I forgot that this was a big story this week. I mean, it really was.
It was a big story. It feels like so much has happened this week. I had to dial back a few days. But this is among the top performers this week, rising 16%. And of course, this comes after an 11% surge that we saw on Tuesday. And this is after the company said that it's considering a possible sale after unsolicited interest from, of course, what we know to be multiple companies, including Netflix and Comcast, both saying that they could be potentially interested in this company. But I mean, if you look on a year-to-date basis, I was digging into some of the numbers, up for triple digits this year. WBD up 100%. So far this year.
So it's you go to the DES page, right? It's 100%, 100.09%, but a clean number. So it's doubled this year.
Let's remind everybody.
Yes.
What is under the Warner Brothers Discovery umbrella?
A lot of stuff.
HBO Max, HBO, Warner Brothers, HGTV, CNN, Discovery, Oprah Winfrey Network, DC, and then you get into the smaller stuff. But that's kind of like...
Yeah.
So what's not under?
What's not?
Warner Brothers Discovery.
I will say, if you max out Warner Brothers Discovery from when it became this iteration of a publicly traded company, which was back in 2022, shares spiked then in April of 2022 at $26 a share, still below the $21 a share where they are now.
So TBD. We'll see what happens to this one.
The industry has been under a ton of pressure. The story, we've told that story quite a bit, but this year's performance on that news or the idea of a potential acquisition.
Stocks in play. Companies in play. And listen, it's all about, we've talked with a lot of analysts about content, right? And IP procurement. And so you got to believe that anybody interested is getting, hopefully some really good intellectual property that they can monetize in a big way. Yeah. Speaking of kind of content.
We talked through two names in the green. Let's talk about one that ended in the red. This is Netflix, ticker NFLX, the third biggest decliner in the S&P 500, shedding more than 8% this week. It lost 10% on Wednesday. After, of course, we know its earnings revealed a tax dispute with Brazil, which cut into its third quarter earnings. Of course, this is a company where a lot of investors are used to upside surprises here. So this was definitely a drag on the company this week. And of course, this really just raises broader growth concerns for investors that are used to positivity here for the stock. But shares of Netflix still up at 23% this year.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.